Well, meanwhile, at least 13 people have been killed and more than 100 injured in Israel in retaliation strikes launched from Iran. In Bat Yam, south of Tel Aviv, a missile hit an apartment block. Many Israelis are spending another night in bomb shelters.
As sirens ring out across swathes of the country, Israelis here in the city of Bat Yam hurry into shelters. Residential buildings nearby were destroyed by Iranian missiles just hours earlier. Several people were killed. It was the latest response to Israel's unprecedented targeted attacks on Iran. The northern village of Tamra, near Haifa, was also hit. Visiting Bat Yam to assess the damage, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu underlined Israel's motives.
Think about what would happen if Iran had a nuclear weapon to land on Israeli cities. Think about what would happen if Iran had 20,000 such missiles. Not one, 20,000 of them. An existential threat to Israel. That's why we embarked on a war of salvation against a double threat of annihilation, and we are doing it with vigour.
Despite the new dangers, many Israelis support the government's decision to attack Iran.
They always say that they want to destroy Israel. So we strike them first, preemptively.
As strong as possible. As many mushroom clouds as possible. As much fire, as much light. We want to see all of Tehran burning.
Despite appeals by global leaders to both sides to de-escalate, Israel shows no signs of scaling back its attacks.
And for more, I'm joined in the studio now by DW's Middle East analyst, Shani Rozanes. So, Shani, we just heard in that report, for the moment at least, Israel shows no sign of scaling back its attacks on Iran. So what is Israel's endgame in this conflict?
Well, that's exactly the question, Mariana. It's not really clear what's Israel's end goal. It's had a very impressive beginning with a lot of strategic goals achieved. You hear the military heads are very proud of how freely Israeli defense forces and mostly the air forces are operating in the Iranian airspace. And they seem to have a lot more targets that they would like to hit before bringing this to an end. But then at the same time, it's quite clear that the toll on Israeli citizens back in Israel, it's quite high. We're going into a third night already of attacks from Iran. And Israel is a very densely populated area. It's a very small country, very much in comparison to Iran. It's about 70 times smaller than Iran. And even when intercepted, many of the missiles are intercepted, they still create, the projectiles that fall on the ground, create great damage. So it's unclear. It seems like both sides are kind of counting on the other to be fed up with a war of attrition. But nonetheless, this is where it seems like we're heading.
Well, many experts say that, in fact, Iran's key nuclear facilities and capabilities are located hundreds of meters underground. And without U.S. support, Israel is not in a position to destroy those. But to what extent can Israel count on help from Washington?
Well, I think the messaging from Washington in the last days was very clear. We're going to let you do that. We're not going to stop you. But we're very limited in how much support we are willing to give. We're going to help you with defense, but we're not actively stepping in. We're not going to take part in the attacks on Iran. The Americans still hope to bring Iran to the negotiation table. And they kind of hope maybe that Israel, once Israel is done with achieving its operational goals in this war, it will bring Iran into a place that is going to be easier for the Americans to negotiate. So they don't seem to be too eager on going any further in actively taking part in attacking Iran anytime soon.
Well, in addition to destroying many of its facilities, Israel has also already eliminated a number of top military and scientific leaders in Iran. But is Israel seeking ultimately to, in fact, kill Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei?
Well, It's a very big question. I think officially nobody will admit that in Israel. Secretly, of course, Netanyahu would like to see the Ayatollah Khomeini toppled, his regime come to an end. We are hearing in the last hours officials in the White House saying that it was actually American veto that has stopped Israel so far from operating directly against Khamenei. I mean, Israelis are denying that. It's definitely clear that targeting Khamenei, the supreme leader of Iran, will be definitely an unbearable escalation to this already quite extreme war, which will open a giant can of worms. Nobody knows where that will lead, and I think the Americans are very much concerned with that and will try to stop that from happening as far as they can.
That was DW's Middle East analyst, Shani Rozanes. Shani, always great to talk to you.
Mariana.